person and a microphone at a time, please. Gentlemen, sir, you're next. Come back, thank
In
you.
the name of Almighty God, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. I come before you today looking like a suspect, because this is the way that Jordan Baker looked when Officer J. Castro, who is a Houston police officer, racially and criminally profiled him before he killed him. And even though I was able to take this bandana off of my face, there is another bandana on my face that I cannot take off, and that is my black skin.
That's right.
Over the past 10 years, there have been 298 police killings or shootings in Houston-Harris County. There have been 0 indictments for those killings. One of the first things I want to do in my little 3 minutes is I want to challenge each and every city council person and their paid staff to find a place in the United States of America where conditions are worse. And if you can't find a place in the United States of America where conditions are worse, then why is this not higher on our priority list? When I look above your heads, I see the word justice. What the hell is it even there for? If this is not the place that we can come to get justice, then we need to find somewhere in the budget to take that down, because this is all a farce. So, Ms. Mayor, it took you a very long time to even speak out about the Jordan Baker issue, but we're happy that you did. But if this was something dealing with the HERO ordinance, we believe that your attention to the matter would have come quicker. We live in a city where there are 2 Houstons. One side of town, you hear bang, 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 construction, buildings going up. Another side of town, you hear bang, 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 killings, human beings falling down. So while the HERO ordinance is an equal rights issue, I come before you today with a loss of life issue. And I just believe that those who are sitting around, who have been elected by the people in this city, I believe that you should be able to use your bully pulpit and your strong voices in a better manner to speak to this issue. Again, I want you to find somewhere in America where conditions are worse between community and police. We watching what's going on in New York City, right here from our city. If we're not careful, what we see in New York will take place right here in Houston. New York is the heartbeat of America. Anything that affects the heart affects the entire body. So I come before you respectfully saying, get your heads out of the sand. You got a problem right here in Houston, Texas, and if I will have take 15 more seconds just to warn you.
Thank you.
Just to warn you that if you, just to warn you.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Boykin.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Brother Muhammad, good to see you. If you would like to carry on, but I have a question for
Wait,
you.
when you turn your microphone.
It helps to cut the mic on. Minister Muhammad, what's your take as you wrap up? What's your take on body cameras?
Let me, if I may wrap up first, let me say that in the name of God, I want to warn each and every one of us in these chambers right now that if we don't do something about the issue of justice as it relates to police officers in the Houston Police Department shooting us down and not being indicted, that I fear that a very dangerous environment, which has already been created, will get worse and people will be hurt. This is not something that I'm calling for, but this is something that I'm duty bound to come before you. And if they are hurt, and you've sat in these seats and you've done nothing about this issue, then that blood will be on your hands. To answer your question, Councilman Boykins, thank you for your question. I believe that body cameras are good. I believe that body cameras may be able to help. But I'm under no illusion that body cameras represent the panacea or the solution to the problem. Eric Garner in New York City was choked to death by an NYPD officer right in front of our eyes. There were cameras rolling from various angles. but that officer was still no bill. I say that to say that there is no substitute for justice. Body cameras do nothing for the mother of Jordan Baker and the son of Jordan Baker right now. So while we support the coming of body cameras, we applaud that. We know that that's not the problem, that's not the solution. The solution is written on the wall. And either we remove it from the wall, or we find something in the budget to put a big N and a big O right in front of it so that it reads no justice, because that's our actual reality here in Houston, Harris County.
Let me ask you this, Brother Muhammad, before my time run out. What do you think, well, I had an opportunity to serve on the grand jury 4 times.
Yes, sir.
Total of about 23,000 cases. And I can tell you from that experience, that inspired me to want to run for office, to be honest with you, to try to do something from my perspective. But one of the things that I realized out of 4 tenures on the grand jury, that if when the late DA Mike Anderson, before he passed, became the DA, I met with him. And I asked, he and I, and Reverend Nash and Representative Miles, and I said, the only question I have for you, will you consider putting in a policy, a written policy, in the intake office? In other words, when a police officer stops somebody on the street corner, and we talk about all these no bills, when they call in to the intake office, that's where the charges are accepted. And if they make a decision right then, yes or no, based on a policy, I think that can help curb some charges being brought in that are not vetted based on a policy. So if we get started there, I think that'll help in some way before it even get to a grand jury.